Hey, guys, welcome back to today's training video. Welcome to Iconic Leadership, where I dive deep into what is really holding women back, what they need to actually do to actually step into their most powerful self. And we are kind of right in the middle of a mini series that I have been creating that is really rooted in how women can have it all. So I believe that women can have it all. We can have the body, the business, the bank account, the luxurious lifestyle, the travel, all of it, right? We get to have it all. It is our God-given birthright to be abundant in all areas of life. Okay. Now that belief, first of all, was a belief that I did not always believe. I had to definitely let go of some of the internal stories that would have allowed me not to even understand or believe or even think that I could have it all. Okay. So today's conversation, we're going to be kind of diving deep into universal law number 8, which is called energetic liberation. These universal laws of iconic leadership are my core philosophy. They are everything that I teach from my clients just in like our basic memberships all the way up to my high level leadership masterminds. We teach these concepts and principles, at our retreats, at our mastermind days, because so many people are always asking me, Carissa, how did you actually create the life that you have from nothing, right? Because I'm self-made, I'm self-driven, I am self-reliant, I'm self-motivated, and I wasn't always that way, but I did create the woman that you see here today, and therefore I became self-motivated, self-reliant, etc. So today's episode is what I call the law of energetic liberation. And so many women are carrying around so much energetic baggage and weight. And honestly, this conversation is going to hit deep for a lot of women because women are carrying entirely way too much emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually, right? They are carrying around other people's expectations, other people's chaos or trauma or drama, other people's projections, other people's emotional responsibility. And eventually, women become so freaking exhausted trying to save, fix, carry, manage, and emotionally hold everyone around them up, right? So today we're diving deep into the law of energetic liberation because you cannot expand into the greatest, grandest version of yourself while carrying what is draining you and exhausting you. One of the biggest mistakes that women make is confusing love with self-sacrifice, right? They think being understanding means tolerating dysfunction. They think compassion means unlimited access to you. They think loyalty means abandoning themselves repeatedly. And that belief destroys women slowly. Because every time women believe those stories to be true, what happens is they're betraying their peace to maintain connection with other people. And your nervous system feels it, ladies. And eventually, right? Resentment builds up, exhaustion builds, emotional heaviness builds, disconnection builds, and women start feeling emotionally suffocated by lives that they once prayed for. And I had to learn this as a part of my own evolution because growth changes your standards, you guys. And one of the hardest parts about becoming a seven-figure entrepreneur. One of the, hardest parts about becoming the healthiest version of me, the wealthiest version of me, right? Whatever it is that I wanted to be when I wasn't her. One of the hardest parts about that journey was realizing that I'm not for everyone and that not everyone is meant to stay with me on my growth journey. And as you evolve, you tend to start realizing the people you're surrounding yourselves with are not necessarily your people anymore, but you choose to stay there with them in their misery because you feel some sort of way. Right? Or you're like, I can't leave my best friend because we've been together forever and blah, blah, blah. But like, she doesn't even understand me anymore. We don't even have really anything connected, us anymore. And this happens in partnerships too, guys. I'm not just talking about our social friend life. I'm also talking in our marriages and things like that. So as you evolve to the next level version of you, sometimes it can feel painful, but it's true. Some people only feel comfortable around the version of you that is staying small. And as you evolve, your boundaries evolve, your standards start to evolve, your environment starts to evolve, your mindset starts to evolve. And you guys, if you are consciously choosing to stay in your circle of people, then you will constantly be feeling like part of you belongs up here and part of you belongs down here. And then that creates this internal infliction. Like, I can't leave these people, but gosh, I'm ready to be up here, right? And that's not betrayal, guys. That's leadership. When you just understand that you have evolved past the current stage, of your life and your business and things like that. So, I worked with a woman one time who was emotionally drowning, trying to maintain relationships that no longer aligned with her future self that she had built. Right. And when we finally got honest with her truth, she realized she wasn't afraid of setting the boundaries. She knew she needed to set the boundaries. What she was afraid of was disappointing people. And that's the real issue for a lot of women because women are conditioned to associate boundaries with rejection. But boundaries are not punishment, boundaries are protection. A powerful woman understands that. Okay, she understands that access to her should be earned, not automatically given. Because, right, your energy matters, your environment matters, your peace and happiness matter. And this is why energetic liberation changes everything because women stop asking, how do I keep everyone safe and comfortable and feeling like they belong? And they start asking, what actually aligns with the woman that I'm becoming? So that question really changes your entire life. And if this episode is activating something within you, good. Don't ignore it. Okay. So, when I talk about liberating ourselves from those things that drain us, I talk a lot about the people because we all have the friend, the family member, or whoever in our life that does drain us, right? I call these people vampires. They literally love suffering, they love staying small, and misery loves company. And so, as you start to evolve, right, you start to notice your circle of friends evolving or not evolving, and you're like, oh my gosh. And guys, I've learned this in so many different areas of my life in different points in time in my life. When I was healthy or when I was overweight and 213 pounds and smoked cigarettes and depressed and drank all the time, that was my circle of friends. They were also doing those same things. So then as I started losing the weight, as I started getting healthy, I was like, this environment is actually not serving me. In fact, it's only making me, like I wanted to be friends with them. Of course, I didn't want to lose those great friendships because they did serve a purpose in that time of my life. However, I realized that healthy version of me didn't really like the conversations that we were having. I didn't like the food that we would binge on, right? I didn't want to be the drinker every day. I didn't want to continue to smoke a couple cigarettes every hour. And I realized that as I was evolving, I had to kind of be okay with letting those people go. Same thing in my marriage with my first husband. Okay. After 15 years of marriage, he pretty much looked at me and said, Carissa, you need to figure out what makes you happy because I don't want to wake up at some 40-year-old man starting over again. And so I took 12 months to realize like what would really make me happy. And guys, what had happened was the first 7 years of my marriage, it was pretty good, but it was very comfortable. Okay. And I started finding myself and I started finding my voice and I started tapping into more confidence as I was getting healthier and thinner and mentally, and more emotionally stable. I was evolving and yet I was in this marriage with a man that just kept reminding me, he's like, why can't you just be happy with what we have now? Because I was always, expanding myself. And I was like, no, 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 you're not getting what I'm feeling. I am happy now, but what's wrong with wanting more? And although he never said it, that feeling that he would always ask me probably 5 or 6 times a week was, why can't you just be happy, Carissa? Like we always wanted to upgrade our boats or upgrade our cars or upgrade our houses or whatever. And I was like, no, that sentence made me feel like I should be, grateful for everything that I have because I came from nothing. And it was making me play small. So I took a year off, in a sense, and I got very clear on what I needed to do. And then I made the decision and I said, okay, great. I've gotten clear. I'm filing a divorce. And he then took the victim route. I took the hero's route. And then when I told my family about the situation, you guys, they didn't support me for over a year and a half to 2 years. I mean, they didn't even come to my next wedding with my next husband, right? And so, and I remember that conversation. I was like, you know what? If you cannot support this decision, if you cannot support your daughter and me, your sister, right, there's the door, because I don't need you dragging me down. Okay. And that's hard to do. I get it. And we talk a lot about vampires and people that drain our energy. So the same thing is in networking events, right? A lot of entrepreneurs or marketing people go to these networking events and they're in these groups of women and leaders who are just draining them. And all they do is show up and they complain and the economy and the gas prices and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, right? So I'm like, I gotta find groups. I gotta find mastermind groups and coaching programs that people like think like me, who are positive, who are optimistic. Otherwise, I will fall back into that trap. We all have been there. We've all been there. Okay. And this is still something that like I still have to remind myself when I go to something and like these people are toxic and it's very easy to slip right back into it, guys. But like that's where I have to be very aware that I'm like, this is toxic. I don't want this shit going into my brain. Okay. And I don't want it going into my belief system. Because if you surround yourself with five people who are broke and all they do is talk about being freaking broke, then guess what? You're going to be the sixth person that's broke. All right. So I talk, yes, a lot about detaching, and I teach my clients how to detach from these vampires so that they don't feel guilty. Right. Because there's a time and a place for everyone in your life, I think. And not everyone is meant to come with you on that journey. But when I talk and teach really in the depths of this with my clients, it's not just people, it's also toxic thoughts. It's toxic things that, energetically drain you. It's things that you need to say no to, whether it's projects, expansion, whatever. And so, really, energetic liberation is all about letting go of anything that could possibly drain your battery and your tank and your mindset and your, environment. And you have to be willing to say, fuck this. I'm ditching everything. I'm detoxing. I'm going to get rid of things in my life so that I can continue to expand. And that's really, really important. It's really, really important to understand this and to be okay with it and then to actually do it, be willing to do it. So I always tell my clients, start small, right? Start with going through and getting rid of pens that maybe you don't like in this pen jar. Maybe going through your Tupperware cupboard and getting rid of anything that doesn't have a lid that matches, right? Going through your physical clutter first because your physical clutter will also create mental clutter. Okay. Then we do the internal detox, right? It's like, what are all the negative things holding us back? Let's start to detox that. Let's get it out of our body. Let's get it out of our system. The negative emotions, let's get them out of our bodies. The negative stories, all of that. And then we go to people because people are the hardest thing because so many women don't want to make other people feel sad or upset or like they're being rejected, even though them in your life is not really serving you, right? So there's a time and a place to get rid of the toxic vampires. We all probably have one. So if you're watching this video and you're like, oh my God, she's talking to me. Yes, I probably am because guess what? You're not that special. Everybody has toxic people in their life. So, and I'm even talking about clients, guys. Like this last year, I had to do a major shedding of clients that were not aligned with who I was becoming in the company that I was growing. And that is okay, right? I did not take that offensive when clients come to me and they're like, you know what? I signed my contract, but it's 3 months in, and I just realized like what you are, what you're all about, is not really like I wanted to grow my company with paid ads, and you believe in organic marketing, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay. So then like we part ways. It's okay. It's okay to part ways with people. And I have a beautiful app. It's called Rise. And one of the meditations in there is what we call a cord cutting, an energetic cord cutting to help people release the thing from their body energetically, spiritually, inside and out. We help them cut the cords. Because we don't need these things, these voices, these stories, or these people in our lives. They're just bringing you down. Okay. But so many people need a coach to help support these types of conversations if you're, getting rid of people, or if you're needing to have, a conversation with certain people, right? You need support. You don't have to do that alone. Okay. So, I just want to remind you that your energy matters, your environment matters, and your peace and happiness matter. They should be your number one priority. And energetic liberation, this universal law changes a lot of things for a lot of people. So stop asking, like, how can I keep pleasing others and start asking, how can I please myself in this situation? And that internal question will really be big for you, I'm sure. So again, if this episode is activating something deep within you and you're like, holy shit, I need to do this. I need to detox. I need to declutter. I need to get rid of the negative things, thoughts, people, places, and ideas in my brain, then it's time to do some deep cleaning. It's time to do some deep cleaning. You cannot ignore this message because your exhaustion may be the very thing keeping you from reaching your goals. You carrying all this baggage with you was never meant for you to carry, ladies. You don't have to carry it. And over inside my community, it's called Alpha Queens Rising. It's an off social media platform community where women come together, get more support. We have conversations like this on a deeper level. We're having conversations around identity, boundaries, embodiment, nervous system regulation, leadership, business expansion. So don't say that you don't have a support system when you are consciously choosing not to join a community with like-minded women who are all looking to become the best versions of themselves. Okay. And iconic women, women like me and ambitious A-type, triple A-type personality women know that they need to protect their peace if they want to reach their impact level. And if you're ready for that, then you already know the next move, right? Book a call with me if you're ready to finally step into your iconic leadership era and truly master these 10 universal laws. Or go ahead and get your hands on Unapologetic, the 10 Universal Laws of Iconic Leadership. It's my brand new book coming out, guys. It's amazing, it's game changing, and it is not your average personal development book. It's literally breaking down the hows of what you need to do to have all of these massive transformations. All right. Okay, guys, tomorrow I will be back with another incredible training. We are in one of my favorite universal laws tomorrow, the universal law of subconscious programming. How we get everything that we want starts from within. And I cannot wait to have that conversation with you guys. So again, comment, subscribe, like, share this video. Put yourself on that notified list so that every time I go live, you get access to this powerful training every other day or every Monday when we, launch a new podcast episode. So that way you stay in the know. All right. Okay. I love you so much. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Go kick ass, detach some people, get rid of some old stuff in your house, and let's have an amazing life. Bye for now.